Hey everyone, this is Owen. Today I'm just gonna make a quick video on just replacing the front O-ring on your 3.8 liter Mitsubishi Montero lower intake manifold. And this is pretty much common on every single Gen 3 03 plus Montero with the 3.8 liter. What'll happen is there's a little O-ring inside this yellow piece right here, and after a while it gets brittle and it'll start leaking, causing a vacuum leak, which most of the codes for that are going to be like P0171 and lean conditions because it's sucking in air. So I'm going to start off by popping this nut off, and then I have to disconnect this rod here so I could get this metal piece off. Actually, I'm just going to take the nut off first because I might be able to shimmy the rod off without having to remove the clip. So there's the nut, there's the washer. There we go, and it looks like I could just kind of get it off. I'm just gonna move it to the side. So you can't see it on camera, but on this little yellow piece, there is a little pin in the middle. So you're gonna wanna get a little punch and just hit it out. It's pretty easy, and it only goes in one way. So you wanna find the bigger side, which looks like on mine is this side, and I'm gonna hit it out that side with a little punch and a hammer. And you'll see it, you can't really see it in the video, but it'll start coming out. Some people have done this with the intake in the car, but I just did this while I was doing a bunch of maintenance, so it was easier for me to just do it while I was out of the car. And it would be even easier if you could disconnect this top manifold, but I sold this manifold to somebody, and I told him I would replace the front O-ring for him free of charge. There you go, it's starting to come out. The problem with the smaller ones is they don't sit. They have to sit right on the round part. And I'll get back to you guys once I get the punch out. Alright guys, so I got the little pin started getting out, and there's a pin right there, and you just punch it out from the smaller side because it only goes in one way. So the bigger side on mine was this way, and then you could just either keep hitting it or get a little, maybe like a plier and pull it out. I think I'm just gonna hit it out all the way, and do not lose that pin. Alright, so here's mine, and it only goes in one way. So this is the side I was hitting, this is the thicker side, so I'm gonna remember that when I set it down. And now this plastic piece should pull out. I might have to go get pliers, but it should pull right out. I might have to pry it up a little bit. And I'll get back to you guys once I take it out and get the O-ring replaced. Alright guys, so I got the plastic piece out, and this is what it's going to look like when you take it out. And as you can see, this one's O-ring. The O-ring goes in the front spot, is completely just rock solid, and it's just chipping away. So there's no chance that was sealing. That was definitely going to be leaking air. I mean, look at this. It's just chipping off in big chunks. This is supposed to be soft and able to seal the hole. And here's one of the pieces. It's just rock solid, pretty much junk at this point. So you're gonna want to clean this up as best you can. Just get all that old rock solid rubber out of there. And once you get it clean in there, it doesn't have to be perfectly clean, just get all the chunks out so the new O-ring could seat perfectly. Alright, so this is how it's gonna look clean. You're gonna want to put an O-ring on this front spot, and what I use for O-rings is I go to Harbor Freight, I get this O-ring assortment, and in this assortment there is a perfect O-ring that perfectly fits this, and I think it's this one, which is the only one that has stars on it, I'm guessing, because I've already done this a few times on a couple of Monteros, so I'm guessing it's this one. I'm just gonna test it. You'll know which one it is. It'll fit in there super snug. Yeah, so it's definitely this one. I have to take it back out. I didn't lube it up. But you get the idea. And there's definitely going to be people out there that are going to say, oh, you're not using the right O-ring, blah, blah, blah. I've done this on 2 of my Gen 3s. One of them 5,000 plus miles and no issues. So if this little super cheap O-ring can last me that long, I'm completely satisfied. It doesn't even take that long to do this, so if I even have to do this every 10,000 miles, I'm not even mad. And then you definitely want to lube it with silicone grease. Super important. Or else it's just going to dry out again. And you just want to get this all over this O-ring. And maybe put some more on the little white thing. I'm not sure. I think I just put it on the O-ring last time. But you're gonna want to get that lubed up with the silicone grease, and I might as well put a little bit on this little white plastic piece too, just because I have it out. So now I got my O-ring. I'm just gonna slide it over. You want to be careful, you don't want to rip it. And bam, it looks perfect. You'll know which one it is. I could show it again, but there's one that's bigger and it's too big, and the little one doesn't perfectly seat it. So now I'm gonna put it back in the exact way I got it out. And this little shaft on the intake is a D shape, so it only can go in one way. So I definitely want to put it back in like this, and bam, you'll know it's in because it'll go in. It'll kind of click into place when the O-ring gets sucked in. So I got it in place, and now I could actually see through the hole again, which is where I have to put the little pin. I'm gonna put this piece back, and I'll get back to you guys when I finish putting this all back together. Okay, so I got the little black piece in, and now I'm just punching this back in, and it's going in super easy. It only goes in one way, so if it's not going in super easy, you got it in the wrong way. because the skinny part goes in. And you just want to hit it till it's flush. So as you can see, now the pin is perfectly flush in there, which means you hit it in all the way. And now it's actually harder to turn this yellow piece because now this O-ring is sealing it, which is good. Before I was just back and forth super easy. Nice. So that is definitely in. And I'm gonna reconnect this and we are all done. Okay guys, so everything's all back together and we are finished. And once again, the O-ring set that I used is this nitrile O-ring assortment from Harbor Freight, and the one that fits is this one right here. It's kind of hard to see, but 9.8 by 2.4 millimeters, and everything works as it should. If you have any questions, comment down below.